Yes. 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 The big breaking coming in on your screens right now. This looks like a Mega India Today impact. Bribhushan Singh may be forced to resign. May be forced to resign very soon by January 2022. That is what these wrestlers have managed to now pull off, with their allegations coming in very strongly and the government forced to take action. Remember, there was an emergency general council and meeting for that had already and was announced. But on 22nd January, when that meeting takes place on an emergency basis, according to our sources, the government may make it look like that Bribhushan Singh, who's a BJP member of parliament, is the president of the Wrestling Federation, will propose to resign, will offer to resign. And that could be taken into consideration as well. This is absolutely, incredible and unprecedented of what's unfolding. I just want to read out what our sources are telling us, that the Indian Wrestling Federation's head, Bribhushan Singh, will be part of 22nd January's Emergent General Council, and in that he could be offering to resign from the position of the president. If that happens, it will be clearly a victory for all our wrestlers here who've been sitting for 2 days. They're currently in a meeting. Let's go across quickly to Ashutosh Mishra, who's also at Jantar Mantar reporting. Ashutosh, this is big news, because if he offers to resign and that resignation gets accepted, that is where it will show that the government has at least tried to do an immediate damage control.
Well, the word, Pooja, is called embarrassment. At this moment, when you see the heroes of this nation sitting here on agitation against the Federation, which is part of the government, Sports Authority of India and the Sports Ministry, clearly the government doesn't want this kind of embarrassment when the charges are leveled as serious as exploitation, sexual harassment from the top heroes, the wrestlers of India. Here what we know, since last evening the development takes place. First, the Sports Authority asked Federation to issue a clarification. Then they have sought a report which will be filed in 3 days. Then secondly, we get to know the Bribhushan Singh, who spoke to the Sports Minister. Third, we get to know the emergent meeting of the council meeting of Federation of Wrestling of India has been called in Ayodhya on 22nd, that is on Sunday. And in this meeting, now what we comes to know that finally the government, perhaps the Sports Ministry, has perhaps assessed the situation. They know about the charges, and then the sportsmen, these athletes, these wrestlers were here clearly declaring until he resigns they're not gonna leave. So clearly calculating all the repercussion and the political consequences, and then the subsequent possible embarrassment for the government seems to be this has played very well. And now Bribhushan Singh, perhaps on the day of this Emergent General Council meeting of the Wrestling Federation, he may tender his resignation, and indeed that is the victory of these wrestlers. But the biggest question is, will it end up only at his resignation? What about the charges of sexual exploitation, sexual harassment? Whether there will be FIR, whether he will be arrested, that remains a key focus, and we'll have to listen what the wrestlers say further when it comes to the resignation information of Bribhushan Singh, which is possible on this Sunday in the emergent meeting of the Wrestling Federation, Pooja.
Let's try and get a quick word if this is being seen as perhaps the initials and the start of a victory. He may propose to resign. Will that resignation be accepted immediately? अभी खबर आ रही है सुनने में, आप सब भी इन्हीं के साथ रेसलिंग में इन्वॉल्व हैं, कि शायद 22 जनवरी को एक मीटिंग होगी और रिजाइन कर सकते हैं ब्रिजभूषण सिंह जी. क्या आपको लगता है यही है जो डिमांड चाह रहे थे?
हाँ, यही डिमांड चाह रहे हैं, लेकिन डिमांड जब तक नहीं मानी जाएगी हम यहीं बैठे रहेंगे. क्यों ना मैट, जो रेसलिंग मैट है हमारा, वो है ना यहीं लेके आएंगे. हम अपना जिम भी और यहीं करेंगे और यहीं बैठे रहेंगे.
जब तक हटाए ना उनको तब तक
यहीं बैठे रहेंगे. जीत के जाएंगे हम यहीं से.
So you heard it that, while they have said that this could be a welcome step, it's not going to be enough because they will want that resignation to be accepted. But it's just the day two. I can also update you that we are being told that the meeting at the ministry has concluded with the wrestlers. They should be on their way back. So I'll try and get in the first word from these wrestlers. Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart, all of these are medal winners. But Bribhushan Singh has also tried to claim that because they are past their prime. Yes, and that they will not want, that is the reason that they are leveling all their allegations, because they will not be able to win anything, their demands are not being fulfilled. So all of this is right now one word against another. A fair investigation will have to go across. So what you're looking at precisely is Jantar Mantar, and if my colleague Ashwini Helen will also show you and pan that, this is precisely what the situation is. I want to give you a 360-degree view because of course the area has been barricaded, but it will be precisely important to show that here in Jantar Mantar, that wrestlers have got together. What have we reported on wrestlers usually? It's been about their stories of hard work, of stepping up, of winning medals and making the country proud. They should be training themselves in a pit. But today that pit is of politics and misuse of power. They are here in this pit show and starting to shout for their voices. They want to be heard. They're saying allegations of, hear this out, mental, physical, sexual and psychological, corruption, mismanagement. All of these are charges. But if they are confident, so is Bribhushan Singh. He's saying I've done nothing wrong. This is a political conspiracy and level charges against me. And at this point what you see are people starting to gather here at Jantar Mantar. So a big news there. We'll just try and get more word from our colleagues as well, and I'll try to speak as many wrestlers, because remember at this point many of them are also cautious. It's very difficult to take on the federation chief, but they appear to be united in this, and that's why it could be a start of a victory to know that if the resignation comes in, that is going to be the first step. All right, so this is a big news coming in. On 22nd January, I want to just reiterate to the viewers joining in that there is going to be an emergency annual meeting that will be called in of the government. In that, the BJP Member of Parliament, who's also the Wrestling Federation of India chief, may propose, offer to resign. This on 22nd January, you heard it first on India Today, and that could be the big news. Let's bring in now India Today's Ashutosh Mishra. Ashutosh, because that resignation is going to be offered, so they're going to of course make it look like that he has tendered that resignation, but will it stop the wrestlers? Because what the first word coming into the wrestlers I'm speaking to, they are saying they are not going to back down unless and until there is an official action that is taken, and it's great if that will happen, but they want to stay here. Ashutosh.
Well, the biggest concern of these wrestlers were with the federation, that how they were sexually exploited, there was harassment, and at other extent to the other, the wrestlers, there have been a great level of conditions imposing, even at level of ban when be it comes to endorsing or playing the nationals or making nationals playing mandatory. So there were several issues, and particularly for the wrestlers, imposing such kind of rule that you have to go to play wrestlers, the wrestlers from Haryana go all the way to play to Jharkhand, buy your own tickets, arrange your own stay and fooding, and if not paying, then there is a imposed, the ban is imposed from the Wrestling Federation. Other side, they cannot endorse the product that they want to, even if they have offer, even if sponsor, they cannot endorse unless it is advised by the ministry, or sometimes the federation asks them particularly to favor this brand or endorse this brand. So these kind of accusation that it comes, then it has a great chain of mechanism within the federation that works, and it is not just because of one person. However, if there have been several complaints, as they say, that we often feel very uncomfortable, the female wrestlers particularly, against that how they have been harassed in the different camp. So these kind of, when accusations are made, it is not just one individual. Why? But that person is important because he is being Member of Parliament from the ruling time, third time President of the federation, and then the kind of image that he has, a Bahubali, a big face. And when you belong to the ruling party, then clearly there is another deterrence, and that exactly you heard morning when he made a statement that you vote out within the federation, let the athletes vote, let the wrestlers vote, 97% will side by him. But if you see the gold medalists, silver medalists, everyone who won medal for this country, they are sitting here at Jantar Mantar. So it is indeed a power show by these wrestlers. They literally challenge the the authority of Bribhushan Sharan Singh, and that's exactly what it seems.
Ashutosh, get more reactions, speak to people around you. This could be very historic.